Welcome guys back. My name is Senki from digislots, and today we talk about a BT15 tier list. A lot of support from E05 goes into BT50 compared to a new tier list. We didn't have long to play Beat Someone guys, but we can play it in BT15, don't be worried. But first, right, left, help out the thumbs up button for more awesome content because we are on a milestone to 1,650 subscriber. And the last thing I saw, I will make it pretty big for you guys. 85.3% are not subscribed. Subscribe guys, it's really nice helping me out to grow the channel. What you can win is a mat from Magemet you can search out, or the newest display EU05 or BT, the new BT if we hit that, from BR Yu-Gi-Oh! Shop helping me out with digislots 5 you spare by Magemet, 5% off your subscription. Thank you very much guys. And we have something new guys, membership. You see down there we have a membership. If you want to do extra behind the scenes content, photos, stuff like that, or wanted always to do a Senki, do that video, you can do now if you subscribe and helping me out to grow and doing more supportive to the stream, engagement, new camera, stuff like that. I will buy from that. Thank you very much guys, and let's go into this really nice tier list. Okay guys, we are right now at the tier list. We have for restriction, Bukamon is at 1, Apocadimon is at 1, Gabumon X Antibody, Garuru X Antibody, Anubis is at 1. These cards got nerfed. Keep that in mind for this band list. We start things first with Alphamon. Alphamon is not quite that strong deck. It is a strong build-up deck with a lot of tower stacks and stuff like that, swinging one time and then unsuspending and having there, but it's sadly still slow and needs kind of support. It gets a little bit of it, but I think you cannot compare with it. I think it's still playable. I would rate it tier 2 deck, but nothing more. Amphimon, sadly, it was a good counter with the Apocadimon deck. It was fast, it was blue, jamming, get rid of stuff. It's really nice, shuffle back stuff. But sadly, after the hit of the deck that is countering it, it got tier 3. Anubismon. Anubismon is really cool because it has a unique playability right now with Leomon and Megaruman. I didn't put this. I put Leomon here. Perfect. Because this is the Anubismon spam with Leomon X Antibody, Megaruman. I will do a deck profile from that video. But for me, this is T1. This is the only one spam deck. This is for me T1 because it got in BT16 a top with BT15 cards. And why don't you can play it at BT15, guys? I think it's pretty broken. I think it's pretty insane, doing a good job, and I think it stand there as it should be. We go for Imperial Jamon. Then I'm sorry, brother, but next set we going in there. Didn't get the support they needed. BT16 is the support set this deck got. It's really nice, and I think there's a place that can be then after that in the higher spots. Hunter. And that's pretty cool. Never underestimated this deck because it can always be played. Sadly, it did got support. We got the Hunter option from the promo packs at E05. So this deck got a little bit of support, not what they needed. Maybe the support should become sets further, but didn't have anything to do here. I think it is really a strong tier 2 deck, nearly tier 1.5, but other decks are too fast right now. Beelzemon combo deck is always good. Tier 1.5 can win stuff with it when you're high rolling, but if you're not high rolling, then you have a little bit of problems. Bloomlockmon I will put always also as tier 1.5. We didn't got the promo with what I showed you the last time on the tier list. So it's for me a consistent deck what you can always pick and be playing. I think it's pretty nice. Blue Flare for me in the meta, it's still playable, but not quite good as it should be. It don't get support, it don't get help by the Garuru line. You can play it, yes, but I think playing Blue Flare as a type is better than other stuff, and that's the reason why it is at tier 2. Pre-Gachamon, so Commandermon with pure stuff, not Digipolice with the new support deck, I think. So the spam deck is solid tier 2 deck. It has some problems with its other decks, keeping and grinding it and keeping it low, and it should be better played with a mix. But if you want to play only the Commander Mon package as sadly tier 2, better Ultimate Cup deck to pick off. Machine Jamon, pretty nice, is a one contestant tier 1 deck. Why? Because it got support. They getting a new Giga Jamon you can play, a new Mega Jamon you can play. You have as well a new Machine Jamon. I know this is more Apocalypse stuff with Dark Masters, but you can play it if you want to. And you got a new Tamer as well. So a lot of stuff. I think they got an option as well too, right? Yes, a Supreme Connection, right? Really busted card. You can stop there for quite now, but I think Machine Jamon, like I told you, get every time support, and this deck is not a sleeper deck. You should not sleep on that. I think it's a really nice tier 1.5 stack, really hard to get rid of, really problematic, and really strong deck, I think. Fangmon is for me one of 1.5 decks because the boss monster is pretty insane. Not everyone knows how to play with this deck, and some decks have problems. I made a deck profile. I think it's pretty cool. This deck I think is pretty nice as well. Lose only 2 bounds. Shangrimon, as well as this set, is a tier 1 deck. It's pretty strong. The hits didn't got nearly him. He got his nerves, but I think you can play it as it should be. It is really pretty strong, and I think it should be tier 1 consistent. This set, next set, I think it dropped then down, but I can see it as a lower tier 1 deck. Kaiser, so red hybrid, always a high contender for tier 1 because topping there, I saw attacks right now was a tournament and a lot of red hybrid player top, a really strong and fast deck right now. If you need to be set up in some stuff, then red hybrid comes them handy, then you have problems, but I think it should stay at tier 1.5. It's not a tier 1 deck because you saw attacks, a lot of got kicked out because of reasons. Then we got Fanglong, Lugamon. I'm sorry, Lugamon is a tier 1 deck. Why? Because Lugamon getting support. Yes guys, you heard right, Lugamon getting support. Lugamon support is up. Thank you very much, guys. You get a new Lugamon. It's pretty cool. You get a new Logarmon, and you get the level 5 as well. Where is it? I think the next page. No, you don't get it. Okay, there was the other 5 in BT16. Never mind. And you get 2 new cards, but it's okay. It's really strong deck combined with comboing and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. It should be there where it stayed as tier 1 combo you out of stuff. It's really nice. Galapmon, maybe next set. I know you got off guys as Jasmine too. Sadly, they didn't get any support. There will be soon stuff for Jasmine. I think it was a deck or other things or other stuff like coming out, Kudimon and stuff like that. Maybe I thought it was a deck for itself, but it's really cool. Grace Novamon, sadly not the quite best deck. It's a DNA deck and needs a lot of setup and stuff like that. For me, it's a tier 2. It's a playable deck, but not quite necessarily a tier 1 spot or tier 1.5. Heavy Leomon for me, and Leopardamon deck is pretty cool. Fortitude is really strong, and I think it's a really good tier 1 for 1.5 contender because a lot of people don't know what it does, and Fortitude is really strong. Look up the cards, read it, and then you know what to do with the deck. For tier 1, Leomon X antibody, so the whole Leomon tribal is pretty broken. I think a really strong deck for myself. Getting a new extra, I will playing as well, Leomon. Getting a new Evoline, Leomon X antibody and stuff like that is really insane. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I will put it as well purple on the top front because Shangrimon is not really good with that. For myself, I will go on with Victor Seal as tier 2. It's a still playable deck, but not good with like the other decks. Megaruman, you have the pure purple line and the pure line. The pure line got nerfed because Bukamon is there, so the pure line I will do as a tier 2 deck, and with purple considered stuff I will do as a tier 1 deck. I think Megarumon is really strong. You get this whole new Evo line, you get a new Tamer and stuff like that. You get a Megarumon Ace, a Gabumon, a Garumon. You get your own type card. I think it's really good. You get an egg as well if you want to play that, giving you 1000 boost. And it's really cool to have that one up. I think you need to play the purple source stuff. You get a little bit more support for the Pew line, but I think purple is the way it's treads. Maybe it's a tier lower deck. Maybe we can put it as tier 1.5. I will do right now. I don't think because of the nerf it's really that quite strong. A deck what I think Pokemon got hit, and they don't get in BT16, they get their level 4 as a jamming type, but right now not. Mirage I think is one as well, one of the better 1.5 decks. I think it's pretty fast, and I will consider that as well here. Beatsamon as in control deck I think is really good. Not quite tier 1 potential, but a really good tier 1.5 deck as well, controlling your opponent with the Garou line, but the Garou line got hit as well. I think Beatsamon sync up to 1.5 need to think about that. The Omnimon deck as well as in Hyrule deck, so you don't need to be compared. That is still playable. You can win stuff like Beatsamon, but not quite consistent as that. Alphamon Rage mode maybe next set, brother. There you go. And we got Anubismon. For me a still playable deck. You can play it, but I think only in Ultimate Cup you can see progress there. Vaccine is a deck for me as a tier 1 contender as well, one of the better decks, because why? It gets support. You have the new Jamon Ace, what is pretty insane. You get a little bit of a new vaccine lineup. You don't need to necessarily play it, but I think it's pretty okay. You get the Megaruman as well, but nothing else as in Aimon, what is pretty insane as well. You get a little bit of support, and this deck was pretty broken before, and I think with the support it's pretty insane, and this deck is still playable on BT16, EX06 and more. Get your hands on Patamons, guys. I bought my Patamons and now bleeding for 50 bucks for 4 copies. Jeez. Okay, then we have the Numon deck. Not gonna lie, it's a 1.5 deck. Why? I think as well as the people in BT16 why this deck topped. And this deck has really good synergy. Numon X Antibody, Monster Aimon X Antibody coming out in this set, and you don't need to sleep on that. We get the Numon support, the Monster Aimon X Antibody, and the Numon on the black side. This is a really good deck. Synchronizing with that with Rumor, and Rumor is pretty broken right now. So having that as well is pretty nice, and the synergy of this deck is pretty insane. And you as well, you get the War Room Monster Aimon. It's really nice. The DDG Wolf 1, it's pretty good. I think this deck has really good synergy in this and the tier 1.5 contender. I think we maybe see this in the next meta. It's really cool to have that here. Then the DGG Police Brigade Evil deck line is for me tier 1.5 as well. It's an okay deck, it's pretty nice to play, but not quite much that what you want to see. I think it's okay-ish, but not quite this good. Then in deck what is tier 1 contender as well is security control. What problems does security control have? You have Mirage getting nerfed, so it's not so quite fast, and not having jamming when you remove the first decks, and maybe can die on stuff in the security. Leomon is a lot of pressure if it goes through the security, but then you have the same meta as well as before, so nothing more as in spam deck. The Fixmon is the really broken card in this format. For everyone I told you play the Fixmon, you have 1, 2, and 3 spam decks, maybe 4 with this one. When they got a lot of tamers out, you can play it really cheap. Like the Fixmon is feeling really good in this meta, as well as you getting the Magnamon Ace and the Anubismon you can play maybe in your security controllers. Is really nice. For all the Wolfforce lovers and American watching, guys, this deck is tier 2. Accept it, please. It's not quite that strong. Pokemon Red is for me tier 2 playable as well, and Wargreymon Tribal, yeah, we can do as a 1.5 contender. I think this is pretty okay, and yes, this is my tier list. What you guys need to pick up: Leomon is pretty good. Friendly Lugon is in the next set pretty good as well, because they get support as well as Vaccine. This one stays here up as well. Leomon falls down, but you're playing a mixed version of Anubis, Leomon and stuff like that. Grab your hands on these cards, guys. You should grab it. It's a simple meta. You don't need to think about that quite much long. I think this is what it is. Maybe Machine Jamon and Megaruman putting more trouble up in the top spot as it should be. But Anubis, Merva, and Leomon X Antibody. I will do a deck profile soon. Next week I will do a deck profile format, then you will see what I mean. It's a really strong deck, and it got topped as well in the Japanese meta, in the BT15 meta versus Imperial, and why should not be topping here? Okay guys, this was my tier list. If you have anything to say about the tier list, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you very much guys for watching. Have a nice day or week. Your Senki, I am out.